I know we're having a lot of fun chatting and talking to each other, but it's now time to have even more fun as we do some very important work for our community. I want to wish all of you good afternoon. I'm Chris Bramlett. I'm the chairman of the Stanley County Community Foundation. I want to welcome and thank each of you for being here today, many of you for very different reasons. The purpose of today's gathering, I always wanted to be standing and have Leon put a mic to me. Thank you, Leon. Makes me feel so important. I want to welcome and thank each of you for being here today. You know the purpose of our gathering. It's for us to recognize and celebrate the important work being done every day by our area nonprofits. The organizations being honored today are 2014 grantees of the Stanley County Community Foundation. We're very fortunate to have representatives from 14 of our local nonprofits here today, and we're proud to be a partner in what they do. Before introducing those grantees, though, I want to introduce to you the members of the board of the Stanley County Community Foundation, and then I will tell you a little bit about what's been happening in the 15 years since our founding. As I call the names of the board members, if you would just raise your hand, I want to ask you to stand and just hold your applause until the end, and then you can give them a big one. Dawn Allen, Larry Balcom, Bob Barbie, Nadine Bowers, Andrew Burleson is not here with us, C.B. Crook, Leon Frederick, Kevin Garrison. Bill Grigg is not with us, yet he was here with us at our meeting earlier. David Grigg, Dr. Yolanda Johnson, Dr. Brenda Kays, John Louder, Bob Odom is on our board, Marshall Rogers, and Lake Snyder. I would like to mention specifically 4 of those that I just called their names who will be either joining or rejoining our board this year. That's Bob Barbie, David Grigg, Dr. Yolanda Johnson, and John Louder. And we want to thank you for your service to our community. Also, when you have new members coming on the board, that implies that some old members rotate off. If you've served on any community board, normally you know that you serve your term or subsequent terms, that sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, the time comes in your life when you rotate off that board and you go and they give you a plaque and honor you and that sort of thing, and you ride off into the sunset, never to be seen again. We've got one member rotating off that we're not going to honor that way, C.B. Crook. And the reason we're not going to honor him that day is he ain't going away. He may go away for a year, but he's not going to leave the Stanley County Community Foundation. He's too important to us and has been since the very beginning. Thank you, CB, for your years of dedicated service. We appreciate it. I'd also like to thank Stanley Community College and James Cotton for recording this event and airing it on TV Channel 21. We appreciate Dr. Kays and James, all that your institution does for our community. Since 1999, the Stanley County Community Foundation has been committed to inspiring philanthropy and increasing charitable giving in our community. I did a survey just recently, did a search through all of the agencies and programs for the nonprofit kinds of things in our community. We have 62 of them in Stanley County. We're going to honor 14 of you here today. But in 1999, a small group of very community-minded individuals served as a catalyst for getting our foundation started. There was a lead gift, a healthy one, from the Duke Energy Foundation. It was in honor of the retired president and CEO of Duke Energy Corporation, William H. Grigg. Bill Grigg has been a great supporter of the foundation's work, and I'm pleased to say he continues to serve on the board. He serves on this board. And I want to add one other thing. From time to time, those of us who chair the county community foundations meet in Charlotte and we all come together, each representing our counties or organizations, and we meet in the Bill Grigg Room at the Foundation for the Carolinas. And I can promise you that every time we meet, I point out to them that we're meeting in the Bill Grigg Room, a native of Stanley County. And I can hear them every time say, oh, there he goes again, and all of that. But nonetheless, it's nice to point that out. Also, there was a major gift from UR Capital Corporation, which is another fund that was created to enable even more grants to be awarded in our community. We do have a strong tradition of philanthropy in Stanley County, and we need to all be grateful for the generosity and leadership of those who established our foundation that many years ago. I can report to you that today the Stanley County Community Foundation is a total philanthropic services organization with 23 affiliated charitable gift funds totaling over $7.3 million in assets. And I'm very pleased to report that that's one of the larger corpus of funds among the counties that are affiliated with the Foundation for the Carolinas. Through July of this year, nearly $700,000 has already been granted into our community through the affiliated funds to support nonprofits, churches, colleges, and other educational institutions. Since our inception, over $3.1 million has been granted through affiliate funds to support nonprofit agencies in Stanley County and beyond our county. We're proud of the impact of these grants and are grateful for the generosity of those donors. As you can imagine, with all the work that goes on during the year in administering these funds, this is our very favorite event. During this annual gathering, we take time to celebrate the grants awarded through our board's grant-making programs and to recognize the individuals that represent those organizations. It's very enriching for us to hear the stories of our local nonprofits. We appreciate the work you do and the work your hardworking staff and volunteers do on behalf of Stanley County's nonprofit community. These people are the ones making a difference in the lives of individuals who find themselves in crisis, in enriching the experiences of our youth, in helping to provide jobs, and in supporting and strengthening families in our community. At this time, I have great pleasure to introduce to you Kevin Garrison, who's the guy with the checks. And that's what you hear. Kevin.
Well done. Thank you, Chris. Chris has done a great job as our chair this year and next year too. Thank you very much. I am the chair of the Stanley County Community Foundation's Grant Committee. So we are blessed to have the job to review all the different grant applications, along with a lot of really great support from the folks from Charlotte that put all the information together for us. And Karen Coppage, standing in the middle back, does a ton of work for our board and probably 7 other counties too, but we wouldn't be able to do this as easily without her help. Our nonprofit agencies are making an impact in our community, and we are very grateful for all their efforts. And before I introduce the grantees, I just want to recognize and thank the other members of the grants committee, Bob Barbie, Andrew Burleson, Leon Frederick, Dr. Yolanda Johnson, Dr. Brenda Kays, John Louder, and Lake Snyder. We appreciate all your time and commitment. And since our inception, this board has awarded over $340,000 to more than 40 different organizations supporting over 115 projects and programs in Stanley County. This year's grant-making process was difficult, as it is every year. There's so many important programs and deserving organizations in our county that support the community. Unfortunately, the funds are limited each year. So this year we awarded $30,000 in all total, 14 different outstanding organizations. I would like to introduce each grantee in alphabetical order and then ask a representative or two or 3 or 4, to come forward and accept the certificate, and please share a little information about your organization and what you plan to do with the funds. This is our favorite part of the whole year. All right, the first grantee is the American Red Cross. They were awarded $1,000 for local disaster relief program, and here to accept the certificate are Sheila Crunkleton, Sabrina Patterson, Dr. Richard Lyles. Thank you.
And we've got two other board members.
Two other
as
board
well.
members.
Yes.
Oh, thank y'all. Please come forward. Let's see. David Richborg, Rachel Huff, and John Fields and Diane Fapier. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for this grant. I mean, this is, when you hear about the great work that's going on in our community, to be one of the 14 agencies that's awarded something is a tremendous, it's a tremendous accolade, and we appreciate that. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Foundation of the Carolinas. I work with them in other counties as well, and the community boards, with the support of the Foundation of the Carolinas, do so much and so good with what they have. I went to their annual meeting this year in Charlotte, and wow was all I could say. Tremendous organization, and if you ever wonder if somebody does great work with their money, they certainly do. With this grant, this is going towards our local disaster relief effort, and that is, on average, it takes about $1,000 to support a fire victim. When a family has a house fire and our volunteers respond, which Diane Frappier here is one of those volunteers, when they respond, whether it's middle of the night, they're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They respond, they help with that family with their immediate needs, whether that's housing, food, clothing, essential medical supplies, as well as mental health. And then we help them with first month's rent to get back into another place to live. So this will help, on average of one family, and we greatly appreciate that. We appreciate your support, and truly are honored to be here in front of all of you today. So thank you.
Thank you all. Esther House of Stanley County was awarded $2,000 for its empowerment program. Here to accept that certificate, Donna Miller, Vicki Coggins, Janice Dunlap. Thank you. Who drew the short straw?
I always do the speaking. Thank you so very much to the foundation for awarding us this grant. With the grant, as all of you know, we deal with people in crisis on a daily basis. And the empowerment program is designed to help the ladies to become violent-free and live a life free of fear. So with the empowerment program grant, what we intend to do is to reach out more to the community and teach them job skills, life skills, provide counseling, budgeting, financial, some tutoring, and educational classes. And this will help them to not get back in that cycle and be able to move forward. Thank you so very much. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
The Friends of the Senior Center was awarded $1,200 for electronic compartment meal transporters. Here to accept the certificate is Becky Weemhoff and Dr. Nayland Mehta.
I'd like to thank the Foundation Board for the awarding of this money to our program. I work at the Senior Services Department, and our mission is to enhance the quality of life of older adults by providing a wide range of programs and services and supports. so that those seniors can stay at home as long as possible, which is what we all want to do. We are the only home delivered meal program or Meals on Wheels program in the county. Last year, we provided over 36,000 home-delivered meals to about 191 homebound seniors. Our routes go all over the county. We have 15 home-delivered meal routes. Some of the counties go fairly far out, and most of our homebound seniors are the very frail. In other words, they're very susceptible to becoming sick. So we want to make sure that the meals we're sending to them their temperature has been maintained. And not that we send out meals that aren't in the proper temperature range, but when you have a meal that leaves the Albemarle Nutrition Site, which is beside East Albemarle School, and goes all the way out to the edge of Millingport or Meisenheimer, and knowing that there could be some stops along the way that take longer than just dropping off a meal, some seniors want to talk. Some of you know that. So sometimes the routes cannot, right, Dr. Maddow? Yeah. Okay, sometimes the routes are longer. So we just need to make sure that that some of our longer routes have these electronic carriers that they can put the food in. With the grant that we received, we will be able to buy 2 electronic compartment carriers. They will hold 14 plates, and they'll be used on the routes that go the furthest out from Albemarle. So we thank you for looking after some of the seniors in Stanley County, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. GHA Autism Supports was awarded $2,000 for its retail store development project. And here to accept the certificate, Lauren Fike and Beth Oliveri.
Thank you, Kevin, and special thanks to the local volunteers and the staff at Foundation for the Carolinas for the grant this year and for the continued support the last few years. My name is Beth Oliveri, and I serve as the Development Director for GHA Autism Supports. And GHA has been in existence for over 36 years, providing an array of services for individuals with autism. During this time, we have grown from an agency serving 5 children in a residential setting to over 90 individuals with autism. Our primary goal is to really help these individuals reach their maximum potential, and in many cases we can help them by providing meaningful employment opportunities. And so I'm thrilled to have with me today Ms. Lauren Fike, who serves as our Creative Arts Coordinator, and she is overseeing the project that your grant's funding.
Thank you, Beth. With the award, we recently purchased the building next to our administrative office on 2nd Street. Renovations are in process with Cohen Construction. There will be 2 focuses to our business, which we have named 2nd Street Sundries. We are excited to have partnered with Sodexo for the restaurant aspect, which will include paninis, flatbread pizza, and Starbucks brand coffee. Sodexo will also employ individuals that GHA currently serves. 2nd Street Sundries will also contain a store that will offer handcrafted items by our individuals. This provides another opportunity for our individuals to work within the store or to rent booths for their small business enterprises. Last year, you may remember the Community Foundation gave us some money to purchase supplies for glass fusing, and these are some of the items I've displayed here. And our individuals actually helped to create these. Beth, I can't remember if she touched on this earlier, but I would like to touch on it again. All of us are excited to offer new business to the community, but we are most excited for the opportunities that this venture offers our individuals for meaningful and fulfilling work. Thank you.
Our next group, Homes of Hope, was awarded $3,150 for their Community Inn expansion project. Here to accept the certificate, Skeet Askew and Gary Lewis.
I'd like to thank the Stanley County Community Foundation and the Foundation for the Carolinas as well. We started 9 years ago with some money from the foundation. That got us started. We started out with one homeless family. And since that time, since the 9 years have passed, we have housed and served more than 800 homeless people from Stanley County. A lot of people don't even know they're homeless in Stanley County, but there are. And we have been privileged to try to help many of them get going again. That's our number one goal, is to get them to the point where they can acquire the resources and the skills they need, not only to get a permanent housing, but to sustain that permanent housing. And so that's our main goal. What we're going to use this money for is our community inn expansion. You may have noticed at the community inn, the community table, the outside has changed its look. We've expanded both sides of the building, the community Christian ministries on their side, the community table on our side. And on our side, we're going to be able to house 8 more people. We've been overflowing down there all the years that we've been in operation since 2009. So this is going to give us an opportunity maybe to have everybody housed on one side. And the funds we're going to use are for purchasing metal bunk beds and bed bug-proof mattresses. That is a common problem with other homeless housing agencies. Fortunately, we haven't had that yet. We take a lot of care in trying to make sure that didn't happen, but these items will ensure that it won't happen at the community inn. So we appreciate all of that. Appreciate Gary Lewis, our president, and his leadership, and I thank you for all that you've done for us.
Hospice of Stanley County was awarded $2,500 for their Camp Forget Me Not program. And here to accept the certificate, Anna Allred McGee and Margaret Fields.
Good afternoon. I apologize. I'm a little scratchy, so I'm going to do my very best today. We just greatly appreciate the honor to be here and the opportunity to accept this award for our kids camp. Kids camp, I was asking Margaret, if we're counting correctly, this is our 18th year. And Margaret was instrumental in starting that camp years ago. But this camp really offers an opportunity for children who are grieving, ages 6 to 17, to participate with their parent or guardian in just receiving support, grief education, and for the families to have an opportunity to have fun together. I brought 2 things, one of which is a letter from one of our camp families, and I just want to share that with you so that you can get a little richer experience as to what our families do experience at camp. Dear friends, as some of you may know, I lost my best friend, partner in life, and the love of my life since age 16. His goal in life was to live long enough that all 4 of his granddaughters would remember him and that he could make a positive impression on their lives. When he died in June, the oldest granddaughter was 16 and the youngest was 8. They all adored their papa, and he made lots of time in his everyday life for them. The girls have each faced grief in their own way, some of them open and talkative, and one in particular closed and angry. She has been angry about Papa's death and other issues in her life. As I look back on the experience of Camp Forget Me Not, I am totally amazed at how beneficial the camp was to our whole family. The progress that the girls have made over that short time at camp cannot be measured. Since the camp, we have had open discussions about issues, laughed, remembered Papa and the good memories, and talked about what he is doing in heaven. Camp Forget Me Not was the catalyst for these discussions to take place. The bears made from his shirts have been a tangible memory of my husband and of the camp. The girls sleep with their bear and feel that a small part of him is with them all of the time. What a wonderful gift. I have known for years how special my husband was, but the remembrances that the girls had at camp made me truly thankful for the many ways he touched the lives of our sweet girls, ways that they will always remember with a smile. Before he died, he had the opportunity to talk with each of the girls individually and tell them how proud he was of them, how much he loved them, and how his spirit always will be with them in good times and in bad. What a gift. Thank you just doesn't seem to express enough to the hospice staff and volunteers who helped with Camp Forget Me Not. Please know that we are grateful to you for this special, meaningful weekend. And that was several years ago that we had a camp family. And this is an example of a camp bear. And this is for one of our campers that will be attending in our October camp. 11th and 12th will be our weekend camp. And this is made from a shirt. And I believe this was a bandana that the person who died had worn. And the children go on a scavenger hunt. And they're not expecting to find this, but they find their bears wrapped up, and it's just a really meaningful experience. So we just very much appreciate the opportunity to be here and for the support that you all have given us. Thank you.
Our next recipient, Lifespan, was awarded $2,000 for its Tech Talk for Adult Learners program. Here to accept the certificate, Courtney Foster, Nicole Murphy, and Ruffin Robinson.
We want to say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity that has been afforded to us. We're so grateful. Our folks have been excited about it all week to come here. So I figured I would bring a couple of them here to just come and hang out with us today. So yes, some of you guys may not know of Lifespan. Some of you may, but I'm gonna give you a brief little description about Lifespan. We have been in existence for 41 years. 41 years?
Wow.
I just love saying that. You know, I'm young, but I feel old when I say that, you know. So we've been in business for 41 years, and we've been providing services for children and adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities. We provide a wide range of services as well as different things that we do that just kind of go on behind the scenes. I know everybody have their own testimony. I don't have a testimony, but what we do have is some passionate people that's here today. They've been in our program for over 12, 13 years. They kind of grew up with the program. We do find individuals jobs. So I think that's probably the best thing that I really hold on to, the fact that we just don't sit behind closed doors, but we're out in the community, and people are seeing us on a daily basis, finding jobs, working and volunteering in the community. So with the grant, we received some iPads, and those iPads have afforded us to just make our individuals as independent as possible. As we know, it's 2014, and technology is everything, smartphones and everything. So we just want to say thank you. We're grateful, and I hope we continue to have a relationship with you guys. And I think they had something to say as well too. So I'm going to steal the shine. I'm gonna take Thank you for the grant.
I know, right?
She was very excited outside the door, but yeah.
Thank you.
For the grant.
What?
For the grant. For the grant.
Brain.
Thank you. Thank you again. Say thank you.
What?
Okay, see you later. See you later.
Well,
I like iPads.
huh?
Say I enjoy the iPads.
Not pass.
All right. Thank you. My name is Nicole. Tell your name.
My name is Cole Murphy.
All right.
Nice job.
Tell your name.
My name is Robert. I've been 25 years. And I've been workshop 25 years. And I should thank you to the grant, and I appreciate what done to me for I do a meal, and for the people take out food for the old people. Thank you.
I should let Ruffin lead the rest of this. He is the best dressed by far in Stanley County today. Our next recipient, Monarch, was awarded $1,000 for its individualized education plan, advocacy, and education forums. Here to accept the certificate, Lori Weaver and Blake Martin.
It's actually just Laurie.
Lori, we're happy to have you.
That's a tough act to follow.
It sure is. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all so much, and that really is a tough act to follow, but just a really clear indication of the great work that goes on in this community, and we feel so fortunate to be part of it and part of all these agencies that are doing the work in the community. For those of you who are familiar with Monarch, we have been around since 1958 and have continually provided services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, substance abuse issues, and mental illness. And so the program that we wrote this grant for and that we will be using this money for is to help individuals and parents and families with students in Stanley County schools who have individualized education plans. For those of you who aren't familiar with what those are, about 18% of Stanley County's 9,000 students have these plans. And in order to receive special services, any kind of special services from the school system, teachers, parents, administrators come together to create a set of goals and objectives involving the student to help them reach the things that, the goals that they want to achieve. And so those plans and the process of creating those plans, particularly for parents who have not done it before or family members who have not been part of that process before, is very daunting. It's an unfamiliar process. It can change from year to year depending on the needs of the student, depending on the capabilities of the school to provide things for the student. So we wanted to spend some time with parents and families to help them understand the process, familiarize them with the process, so that they can be the best advocates that they can be with and for their students, and help them achieve their educational goals along the way. So that's what the money will be used for. We'll run those forums through the fall and into the spring. The first one will be actually November the 10th at 6 o'clock at the Stanley Commons. So for those of you either with students in the school system or with folks who know students in the school system, we invite you to pass that along. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Our next recipient, the Rescue Unit of Stanley County, was awarded $1,500 for its Outfit Us 2014 project. Are Larry McCroskey or Robert Wilhoit here today? They couldn't be with us. They're friends from years past of Grants, and we really appreciate their service to our county. Ronald McDonald House of Charlotte was awarded $2,000 for its Stanley County Families Fund. Here to accept the certificate, Mona Johnson Gibson and Laura Nell Hurst.
I left Laura Nell at home.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't looking well, so thank you, Kim.
Yes, ma'am. Congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you to the Community Foundation and all of you. I have to say, it's so good to be here and see so many familiar faces, because I do live not far from here and worked at the hospital for close to 10 years, but now I have a new gig, as they say, and so I am at the Ronald McDonald House of Charlotte. Our mission is we are a home away from home for families of seriously ill children. So imagine, if you will, that you get that phone call and your child or your grandchild or your niece or nephew has a serious illness or an accident, something tragic, some kind of trauma, and they've been taken to a different town or a different state, or in some of our cases, a different country to have treatment. And so these families arrive, and the first thing you think is, at least for me, is, oh my gosh, I did not bring a toothbrush. I don't have a change of clothes. I don't know anything about this town. I mean, I live in Midland. I still know nothing about that town of Charlotte. I don't know where to go and eat. I don't know where to park. And goodness, where are we going to sleep? And how will we get our clothes laundried? And so that is what has happened to 51 families here in Stanley County. They end up in Charlotte at one of the 2 hospitals there to receive some extensive care for their child. And some of them are there for a few days, and some are there for a few months. Our average stay is 15 nights, but we've had a family with us for 11 months now. So it's hard to leave your home, your family, your other family, your church, your work, whatever's so important to you, and be gone. But we all do it. We will do it if it's about our children. So we have taken the money to help us to continue to house. And we house 28 families every single night, and that changes just about every single night. Fortunately or unfortunately, we're full every night. And so we are grateful for this money. We are grateful for your support. And I know that the 51 families, and that will continue to grow, are appreciative of that as well. So thank you so much, and thank you for inviting us.
Special Olympics was awarded $2,000 for its expansion program. And here to accept the certificate, Kathy Odell, Micah Cunningham, and Laney Reinhardt.
You heard all that clinking as they came up the aisle, right? For all those medals. Well, Special Olympics in Stanley County offers sports for probably close to 200 athletes. Now, that's probably not all the athletes that are eligible to participate. We support athletes from Monarch, from GHA, from Lifespan, from Elite. So, and I see Ruffin grinning back there because he's participated. Yes, he has in Special Olympics before. And so we only offer 6 sports right now. We started when I got involved about 5 years ago. We had track and field and soccer. We've added basketball. We've added bocce, and this is one of my bocce teams. You guys, what's your team name? The Bandits. The Bocce Bandits, yeah. Bocce Bandits. They'll be competing at state-level competition on October the 18th up toward Burlington, and getting to travel out of town. Usually the first thing I ask is not when do we play, but what do we eat? So the most recent partnership has been with the YMCA, and this year we began offering aquatics. Not only are they swimming at the Y, they're having a wonderful time, but they're also partnering in unified sports where the YMCA swim team actually swims relays with our athletes. It's been wonderful. Like I said, there are 19 sports we could offer. We only offer 6. That means that there's still an awful lot of sports we could offer. Anything you'd like to do, we can offer if you want to be a coach. So thank you so much for this opportunity for us to continue to expand what we do in Stanley County. Thank
you. Good luck in Burlington. Stanley Community Christian Ministry was awarded $5,000 for its Warm and Well program. Here to accept the certificate, Roger Thomas and Heather Kild.
I think I'm getting old. I don't usually bring notes. On behalf of Stanley Community Christian Ministry, I want to thank the foundation and for their generosity to us once again. They have been so generous to us through the years, and we just appreciate that so much. This year, the Warm and Well campaign, this grant that we have received does a couple of things. One of them is to maintain utility service among those in Stanley County without interruption. And $4,000 of the $5,000 is going toward that. In the past, 8 months, since the beginning of 2014 through the end of August, we have had 4,067 requests for financial assistance. 4,067 individuals and families requesting, and this money will help us help them keep power on in their homes. Also, there's the wellness component to this grant, and that's $1,000 that we are using or have in life-sustaining and infectious-fighting medication. SCCM is involved in helping people get the medications that they need, and not only through this grant, but because of the generosity of the foundation with $1,000 toward the medication, we had 3 local doctors who offered $500 each in addition to that, raising the number to $2,500 for that part of our expenditures. So we're grateful that you set the standard and others followed and allowed us to do more than we originally believed we could. We also seek in situations that we can to get those who have medical needs beyond what we can supply them with, to get them the medical care that they need. So Stanley Community Christian Ministries continues to be appreciative of the foundation and everyone who supports us and allows us to be able to serve those in need in Stanley County. We all know the needs are not going away, and I'm just happy that we have such a generous community to do our work in. I'd like to close with just a thought that rolls through my head sometimes. Some of you know I am a student of pop culture, and I learn a lot of things from odd places. I used to be well, I still am a huge fan of the old television show MASH. I know most of you are too young to remember that show, but I'm not. And I quote it often, but there's an episode where Father McKay, who is kind of a role model of mine, he's one of the few good representatives of a minister that's ever been in popular television. But Father McKay, there's an episode where he has done he's writing a letter to his sister throughout the episode about the fact that he does not feel that a chaplain in the middle of a war zone is very effective, that he doesn't make a difference. And at the end of the episode, something happens and he realizes he has kind of made a difference. And the last line that he writes to his sister in that letter, he says, "You know, sis, it doesn't matter whether you feel useful or not when you're moving from one disaster to another. The trick, I guess, is to just keep moving." Some days at SCCM, I feel like Father McKay. We're moving from one disaster to the next. But with your assistance and so many people's assistance in our community, we keep moving. Thank you.
Thank y'all. The Stanley County Family YMCA was awarded $3,650 for its Open Doors Scholarship Program. Here to accept the certificate, Kelly Bigger, George Crooker, and Cassie Taylor.
That's actually just me.
That's fine. Happy to have you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cassie.
Thank you for everything that this foundation has done for us at the YMCA. I feel like I've stood up here so many times and I've shared with you the mission of the Y, but I'm going to share it again with you before I start telling you a little bit about what we did with our grant money. The mission of the Y is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And I say this every time I speak about our mission. All is one of the very important words in our mission statement. We do not turn away anybody due to the inability to pay. This summer, because of the grant that you provided us with, we were able to help. You were able to help us provide scholarships to help 46 youth. I counted the chairs that were in here today as I was sitting in the back of the room, and it's approximately 46 chairs that sit in here. So if you can imagine 46 youth sitting in each of these chairs, that's how many children we were able to help participate in our summer camp this summer. That is overwhelming to me sometimes. 1 out of 3 children that were attending our summer camp program were on some type of subsidized dollar. And you were able to help us do that. I know there are several people that are in this room that were in attendance in a breakfast earlier this week, and a story was shared with our group by a teacher, a local teacher, and she shared a story about 2 children that came to us this summer through this program. They were referred to us by these 2 teachers because they saw their family life was just detrimental. They had not a very good home life. They were living with grandparents. Those grandparents, the grandmother, I think it's the grandmother, first passed away. Then the grandfather passed away shortly after that, leaving these 2 children homeless. So they moved in with some aunts and uncles, living in the heart of Albemarle Hotel. These two teachers saw that they needed a need. They had a need. Then they thought, the first thing they thought about was, oh, if we could just get them to the Y this summer. So those 2 teachers picked those children up every day, and they brought them to the Y so that they could spend a day in an environment where they were loved no matter what. They were given character development. They were able to swim. They received learning opportunities through our literacy program. And your money is what helps us do this every summer, and we appreciate everything that you do and that you continually invest in our mission to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. Thank you.
Our final recipient, Stanley County Partnership for Children, was awarded $1,000 for its Dolly Parton Imagination Library Program. Here to accept the certificate, Denise Smith and Tammy Albertson. Congratulations.
We can charge up here. We knew we were last. Everybody's ready. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you to the Stanley County Foundation and the Foundation of Carolinas. Stanley County Partnership for Children has been serving families and children ages birth through 5 for over 20 years in Stanley County. And we've just had a long history with the Stanley County Community Foundation, and we just enjoy working with them so much and appreciate all the support they've given us over the years. But I want to tell you about our newest program we have at Stanley County Partnership for Children. It's the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Dolly Parton began this program in 1995 in her home county in Tennessee. And then in 2000, it was opened up to be replicated throughout the country. Currently, it's in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. There are over 737 children in the United States served through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We began enrolling children in February of 2014, February of this year, and we currently serve 370 children. So we're really excited about this program. We have 190 boys on it and 180 girls, so we're just even with that. We serve children in all parts of the county. Our largest population right now is in Albemarle, but Norwood and Oakboro are not far behind. So we're just really excited about it. Children, the first book they receive is The Little Engine That Could. And then after that, the books are developmentally appropriate for their age. And so children are able to receive a book each month at their home for no cost to their families until their 5th birthday. So we've already had 21 children graduate from the program since February. So they're just, we hear stories all the time of children that can't wait to go to the mailbox every day because they're looking for their book. And if their book doesn't come, we hear about it too. So, but we try to keep that up to date, and as long as they stay put, then they'll get their book until their 5th birthday. But we just really want to thank you for your donation and your help in enabling us to continue this program.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you all so much for speaking about your organizations. That was really inspiring. And thank you to the board and the staff members here today for all you do on the foundation and for the people in the community. We really appreciate everyone coming today to hear these stories. I would like to introduce Meg Dees, who is the Vice President of Philanthropic Advancement for the Foundation, now to say a few words.
Thank you, Kevin. My name is Meg Dees, and I have the great privilege of working here in Stanley County in a development role. And I just have to say, wow. It is really amazing the work you all are doing in this community. Everyone has said that this is one of the board's favorite days, and it truly is. And it's amazing to me the things that the organizations in this room are able to accomplish with really small amounts of money. I think I speak for all of the board when I say that we would love to have much larger amounts of money to give, but we're thrilled that we're able to give you these grants and see the great work you can do. So we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to share these stories with us, because I know it's important, I think, to all of us, and we can all learn about each other. And I know sometimes partnerships have been formed here in this room when one organization hears what another organization is doing, so thank you. The foundation is your community foundation. Our goal is to help facilitate philanthropy, and we do that by helping individuals who make grants to nonprofit organizations. We work with lots of nonprofit organizations and help you all manage your money. So if any of you ever need services where you need help trying to invest some dollars you have, we're happy to do that. And then we also work with businesses. So we really are here to help you. If anyone ever has questions, please don't hesitate to contact any of the board members or contact me directly. Thank you to the board for your great work. Thank you to all of you for all you do in this community. And thanks to Allie and Karen for being here and helping put this together.
One of the things that struck me as all of these programs were introduced was the concept of perspective and how people use different words and different programs and things. And it may strike one person one way and one person another. For example, when I heard the term electronic compartment meal transporter, I conjured up this idea of sitting in front of a computer and dialing up a menu and this meal coming out of the monitor. Courtney Foster, I can tell you that 41 years is not a long time. And Roger Thomas, to some of us, MASH is a relatively recent TV series. Nonetheless, it's very inspiring to all of us to hear from each of the grantees and hear how you're going to use those funds that have been awarded to you. I hope all of you enjoyed hearing about your work and the work of others. I know I did. Thank all of you for taking your time to recognize the programs and services that are changing lives in our community. The Stanley County Community Foundation is very proud of all the nonprofit organizations doing great work in our county. I would remind you, should any of you have any questions or would like to know more about the foundation, please talk to any of our board members. They've been introduced to you, or members of the foundation staff that are here. Lastly, and very important, would all the grantees gather up front here so that we can get some pictures, group pictures of all of our grantees. Other than that, we appreciate your support. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.